the G-men sitting at 2-6. I want to be positive first here because
you're a positive guy.
Well, it's not just that, though. I know everybody's kind of crapping on New York sports right now. Yankees 0 for 3 in their, World Series attempts to win a game, and the Jets and the Giants both losing, both 2-6. It looks dire. But I'll tell you what, man, that Giants team that's 2-6, they've got some really good players on that team. And that Dexter Lawrence is an absolute beast. Yeah. And Brian Burns, I don't blame them for saying let's get and we got to get Thibodeau back healthy, right? But I don't blame him. Lawrence in the middle and Thibodeau and Burns coming at you. That's not a bad way to try and win football games if you can put some points on the board. And Malik Neighbors, dude, is the real deal. I think we can all agree on that, right?
Absolutely.
He is a man beater. He can get open. His route running can put people in a blender. And a couple times there was like a 4th down play. Just go to him. He'll get open. And that kid Tracy who got knocked out, he's in the concussion protocol right now.
He was having a day.
$145 on 20 carries. He's made the most, when Singletary went out with a groin injury, and I have been the guy who has been saying, you blew it with Saquon. And they get this kid late in the draft, and he's the first Giants player with 100 rush yards and a rushing touchdown a game since Saquon did it in Week 10.
Yeah, he was a wide receiver. He was a wide receiver, 5th-round pick, converted running back.
And he's doing well. It's just, again, you do have to sit here and wonder if the issue with the G-men started when Joe Shane, the general manager, couldn't or wouldn't figure it out 2 league years ago with Saquon Barkley, wound up franchising him and giving Daniel Jones the long-term deal rather than the other way around. And if they did it the other way around, would they be in any better position right now? And the question is we just don't know. Because the fact that they were drafting so high last year to give them Malik Neighbors, would that have happened if they had a different quarterback? I don't know. Who would they have gone to? Would they have basically gone away from Daniel Jones this year? And if so, what if would they have drafted a quarterback instead of Malik Neighbors? I don't know. We just don't know these answers.
Right.
It's just the here and the now. And obviously it's a quarterback-driven league. And then last night, the mistakes, the Giants just can't play. If they play mistake, well, how about this way? To win a game like that on a Monday night against the Steelers team that's playing the way that they're playing at home on a Monday night where they haven't lost 22 such straight games, you got to play damn near perfect football. And there were too many mistakes from that 2-point conversion that they went for. We discussed this at the end of last week.
You're all over this.
I'm not a fan of going for 2 when you don't have to. You don't need to. You're only going for it because you're figuring if I get it here, then a touchdown will win it. We're not going to have to play overtime. And when you don't get it, suddenly the momentum you get from a touchdown is defrayed, and you're putting less pressure on your opponent to respond. And their 2-point play was such an unmitigated disaster, it absolutely defrayed the momentum of their touchdown. And then it created issues for them where they're now going to have to chase the 2. But Daniel Jones was like barking about, did you see him barking about being, after the 2-point conversion was such a mess? And I know that's what Brian Daboll's trying to bring out of Daniel Jones is the red ass. Like, be more of a red ass. And again, that's the whole thing too, is like Eli wasn't a red ass. Great when you're winning. When you're losing, it's just like, does this guy have a pulse? Say that all the time with coaches, right? Yeah. Joe Torre didn't have a pulse. It's great when you're winning. When you're losing, it's just like, what are you doing? Show some piss and vinegar here. And it's not. I understand why the Giants initially stuck with Daniel Jones. And he was unbelievable in that playoff game against Minnesota. That performance definitely gave Joe Shane more of a confidence level in signing Daniel Jones long term. And the $40 million a year, it sounds large, but not compared to everyone else's salary at the position in the NFL. And you can see it. Like, he's got the abilities, right? Like, he's got the arm, he's got the legs, he's got the brain, he's got it all. And then he'll do stuff like fail to bring the protection over to TJ Watt with 3 minutes to go, and then a trifecta takes the ball away after you just took the ball away. And then when your defense gives you the ball back down 8, and you're on the Pittsburgh 35, and you're pressured with less than a minute to go, and you airmail your wide open running back, and Beanie Bishop gets the New York sports team again. How about that? You got the Jets, you got the Giants. Beanie Bishop's going to miss playing teams from New York.
Right.
And then that happens, and it's just like, these are mistakes that you shouldn't be making at this part of your career. And it you know, a good thing for Daboll, he doesn't have much hair to pull out of his head, right? I could say that as a member of the Brotherhood.
Of course. We're allowed to. Unfortunately, you know, he's coaching for his job right now.
I don't know. I mean, John Mara said that he's going to have patience with, and I understand why he would say that. I understand Belichick lurks.
Yeah.
And Vrabel lurks. But Daboll, man, Daboll comes from, right? From the Saban tree in college. Yeah. And he came from Buffalo, where Josh Allen looked pretty damn good when he was watering and fertilizing that. He was coach of the year with Daniel Jones looking like that in year one, and then it's just been regression. And do you blame that on the coach?
Yeah.
I don't know. I know you can, but...
Yeah, that's coaching.
Dude, Daniel Jones had this to say afterwards.
Yeah, it's frustrating, for sure. Very frustrating. We hurt ourselves a lot tonight, and that's the most frustrating part about it. So we've got to be more detailed, starting with me. And, you know, some of the good stuff that happened, you know, was negated by, you know, those mistakes.
Damn straight there was some good stuff. And again, I speak from knowledge. The Jets no-showed in that stadium the previous Sunday night in Week 8. No-showed after a first quarter, and then all of a sudden, Russell Wilson does his thing, and he starts cooking like it's 2015 all over again. And great that Davante Adams was there and giving big-time speeches and stuff, but the Giants didn't no-show. The Giants put up much more of a fight than the Jets did in that building the week before. And so there's positives, but again, you're just like, dude, how do you throw that? Dude, how do you forget to bring your tight end over from the left to the right to make sure 90? We circle 90 every single second of the day all week long. You can't leave him one-on-one. How do you kind of forget that? At this stage of your career, Brian Daboll asked again if Daniel Jones is his starter next week against the Commanders.
I thought he did some good things. And then, you know, ultimately, you know, like you said at the end there, you know, it's all of us. We just didn't get done.
And just to clarify, he's still your quarterback going forward again?
He is. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with all due respect to Drew Lock, you got to keep going with him, right? I mean, you're paying him the money. And he does, I mean, some of those throws, right? Deep down the middle, on frozen ropes, right?
And that's kind of been
Slayton at 108 yards receiving. Malik Neighbors, you know, he missed a couple weeks, and he's still the third player in the Super Bowl era with 40 or more receptions through 6 career games. 6 more than Saquon had, by the way. How about that? He was catching a lot out of the backfield, and 4 fewer than Puka Nacua last year, and he's now the new standard of first-year receivers. I mean,
But
Marvin
that's the rub
Harrison's
with-
not up there, and
Daniel Jones. I mean, he does these things, and he has the flashes of like, wow, that's a top 10 quarterback. The way he throws it, the way he's run, we've seen
Right.
how mobile he is, and
Yeah.
how fast when he's in the
Yeah.
open field.
Yeah.
And then he just does all the other dumb stuff you'd think a guy in his 5th, 6th year wouldn't do anymore.
But now he's not one. In the same way that the Steelers haven't lost 22 at home on Monday Night Football, he has yet to win one. And the Giants are on Monday Night Football a lot. He's now 0-8 in his career on Monday night.
It's the new Kirk Cousins.
1-15 in his career in prime time. Come on now. Kirk was never
Never that bad.
that bad.
Yeah.
That's the worst winning percentage in the NFL of the Super Bowl era in prime time starts 1-15, 12 career interceptions on Monday Night Football, most since 2019. So again, under the lights when you gotta perform, because most of the right, usually that's when they're taking on your Cowboys. Yep. Giants, you could book the Giants and Cowboys under the lights at least once a year.
Every season.
And I guess he's lucky that technically it's not a primetime game on Thanksgiving.
It's not.
I don't
Nobody's
think so.
working.
It's as prime time as it gets.
No, but I mean, primetime is an 8 o'clock start,
Right.
Yeah,
which is not the primetime game on Thanksgiving is Miami and Green Bay.
According to who?
I mean, according to television executives who create what a primetime schedule is.
I get it, but much like Brockman's argument about Mahomes not having top 10 statistics, this is a case where the numbers don't truly tell.
I got him in his next.
Story.
I've got him in their next standalone game in Munich against Carolina. We're going. The whole show's going to be there.
Well,
we're all going.
Not all of us.
Mike's going to be back here holding down the fort. Yeah. Right.
Attaboy, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
That's all good. So, you know what I'm saying? I think I'm giving the full glimpse here. Is the coach knows how to coach, and the defense knows how to play, and the offense has got some skill. Like we were saying, you giving up Saquon, you've given up your best skill player. You're screwed. And you draft one, you draft two, actually.
Yeah, and they look fine.
Right?
They look,
and
they're going to be good.
And Slayton can catch it. Right? Robinson can catch it.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do? You going to start Daniel Jones next year?
I don't think so.
You going to bring him back?
No,
Start him next year?
You know what I heard at the Combine? You know what I heard it?
Oh, I get it.
And they tried to draft one. But they went Neighbors instead of J.J. McCarthy or Penix or Bo Nix. And
you can cut him. The dead cap is $22 million, and you're out.
And then you got to figure out from there.
Well, I mean, they got Cutlets on the sideline.
Well, he was one of those inactives.
No, it's. Do you like Carson Beck? Do you like Shador if he drops? Or you're in the top 5?
Do they want Aaron Rodgers? Aaron might not want to move.
I think Aaron's done playing after this year.
Oh boy, I don't know about that.
He looks terrible.
The Jets look terrible. Like I said, would you take? I mean, both are disappointing, obviously, but the Giants showed last night. They showed. They stuck in there. They hung in there. You
didn't give up a punt return, which
I
is
know. That's
few
a
and far
killer,
between
bro.
this year. That's
that
super
2-point
killer.
conversion, going for it to begin with, and doing that, and then giving up a punt return, and then having 2 turnovers in the fourth quarter from the 3-minute mark on, when you have a shot to win it,
right,
or tie it. You're not going to win Monday Night Football games in Pittsburgh that way.
No.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.